Okay, so I have a number for you, and I want you to really let this sink in, because when I first saw it, I honestly thought it was a typo.
All right, hit me. What's the number?
19 million.
That is a significant number. Are we talking dollars? People.
People, or engagements, to be specific. On February 10th, 2026, the hashtag not going home for Chinese New Year. In Chinese, that's Bu Huijie Guonian. It racked up nearly 19 million engagements online.
Wow.
It basically broke the internet.
19 million interactions about not doing the one thing you were absolutely supposed to do during Spring Festival.
Exactly. And my gut reaction when I first read that headline in our source material was just, oh, this is sad. It sounds like a protest, doesn't it?
It does.
Like 19 million people are angry or lonely or just disconnected. It feels like the social fabric is tearing.
It sounds like a rejection on the surface, for sure. But if you actually dig into the data, which is what we're doing today, thanks to this incredible analysis by Coolio Yang, that number isn't about sadness at all.
It's not really a protest either, is it?
Not in the way you'd think.
It's actually, and I promise we're going to unpack this because it feels totally counterintuitive. It's sort of a positive thing, or at least a very intentional one.
Intentional is the perfect word. What we're looking at here is a phenomenon Yang calls the disaggregation of the Spring Festival.
Disaggregation. Okay, that's a $10 word. Let's break that down for everyone listening.
Well, think about how we viewed Chinese New Year for decades. It's this monolithic thing, a script. You traveled home. That's the Chunyin, the giant migration.
Right.
You see every single relative. You eat specific foods on specific days. It's a package deal. You buy the whole thing or you buy nothing.
Yeah, the Great Migration. Statistically, it's usually the largest movement of humans on the planet every year. It's intense.
Precisely. But what this deep dive shows is that the festival isn't that single prescribed ritual anymore. It's breaking apart. People can pick and choose from the pieces. It's becoming what Yang calls a constellation of personal choices.
So those 19 million people aren't abandoning the holiday.
No, they're just rewriting the rules. They're, unbundling the package.
So, okay, let's start with the geography. Because if 19 million people are talking about not going home, they have to be going somewhere, right? It's a 9-day holiday.
You can't just sit in an empty apartment.
Right.
Well, you could, but the data says they aren't. A huge chunk of them are going to the beach. Specifically domestic coastal spots like Sanya.
Yeah, no, okay.
But before you just write this off as people going on vacation, you have to look at who is doing it. Yang's analysis points to a very specific demographic.
And that is?
Urban professionals. 30s and 40s, usually with young children.
Ah, okay, so the people who are usually doing the heavy lifting for the holiday hosting.
Exactly. The ones cooking the meals, organizing everything. And this is where that disaggregation really starts. They're shifting the focus away from the huge extended clan gathering.
With the dozens of aunts and uncles you see once a year.
Right. And they're focusing on the nuclear family, just the parents and the kids.
That makes so much sense, just from a stress perspective. I mean, wrangling a toddler through a crowded train station during the Chunyin rush, nightmare fuel.
Uh-huh. But here's the nuance that I found really fascinating in the source material. They aren't going to a resort in Sanya just to sit by the pool and pretend it's August.
Okay.
No, and this is key. The data shows that when they book these resorts, they are specifically asking for properties that offer traditional New Year programming.
Oh, interesting.
They want the dumpling-making classes for the kids. They want the red lanterns in the lobby. They were the lion dance performance at breakfast.
So they want the hardware of the festival.
Yes.
But they don't want the software of the family obligation.
That is a perfect way to put it. They want the cultural vibes, but they also want breathing room from all that emotional labor. It's a fascinating pivot. Yang notes that for this group, home is shifting from a place of origin,
The village where you were born.
to a state of intentionality.
Wow. Home is a state of intentionality. That's a powerful phrase. It's like saying, I can build the feeling of home anywhere as long as I have the right people and the right setting.
Exactly. You're decoupling the feeling of belonging from the geography of origin. And for you listening, just think about the implications of that. If you're a brand marketing Chinese New Year with ads of people on a train to a snowy village, you're missing a huge part of the market.
You're marketing to a memory, not the current reality.
You're marketing nostalgia.
Okay, but I want to push on this. Leaving the hometown behind is a big deal. In a culture so rooted in filial piety, there has to be a strong driver for this. Why now?
that brings us to what I think was the most shocking statistic in the entire report. It completely flipped my understanding of the holiday.
Are you talking about the wellness stat?
The wellness stat. For the first time ever in survey tracking history for this holiday, the #1 stated priority for the period is adjusting physical and mental well-being.
Number one. Above everything else.
#1, it has officially overtaken visiting relatives.
Wow. So wellness is now more important than family obligation for the biggest family holiday of the year. That's tectonic.
It's a complete flip.
Yeah.
And while the parents are often, Sanya, finding that wellness, this shift is being driven even more aggressively by the younger demographic, the 18 to 29-year-olds.
And they're doing what Yang calls boundary negotiation.
Exactly.
Which sounds like a very polite term for avoiding awkward conversations.
It is absolutely about the awkward conversations. Anyone who's been to a large family gathering knows the drill, the invasive questions.
Oh, I know the list. How much do you make? Why are you still single? When are you giving us a grandson?
It's like an interrogation disguised as a dinner. And in the past, the script said you just endure it. It's the price of admission.
You smile, you nod, you suffer.
But this generation, they're just rejecting that premise. They're prioritizing their mental peace over satisfying the curiosity of distant relatives.
Good for them. But what I love about this is that they aren't just saying no to the old stuff. They're inventing new things to replace it. The report calls them micro-traditions.
Yes.
Can we please talk about the balloon stomping? Because I need to know if this is real.
It is very real, and I love the balloon stomping.
Okay, set the scene for us.
So, for context, fireworks are banned in a lot of big cities in China now, right? For safety, pollution reasons.
Right, which is a bummer because the noise is a huge part of the tradition. It's supposed to scare away bad luck.
Exactly. So what are people doing? They're improvising. They buy huge bags of balloons, blow them all up, cover the living room floor. Then at midnight, the whole family just goes crazy stomping on them.
That is brilliant.
You get that crackle and pop sound. It preserves the function of the firework, the loud noise, but adapts it to a modern high-rise apartment.
And it sounds fun. It brings a sense of play back into it, you know?
That's the theme. It's about participation versus prescription. Another example is the money-finding games.
Right, instead of just handing over the red envelope, the hong bao, which can feel very transactional.
Yeah, you bow, you get the envelope, thank you. But now, families are hiding them. It's a scavenger hunt around the apartment. You keep the excitement of the money, but you add a layer of play and memory making.
It's less, here's your allowance, and more, let's play a game together.
And sociologically, this all connects to a concept called elective belonging.
Define that for us.
Elective belonging is this idea that in the modern world, we choose our communities. We don't just inherit them by blood. Yang points out that we are seeing more and more solo celebrants, and it's becoming socially acceptable.
It's not seen as abandonment anymore.
It's seen as a valid expression of autonomy.
Elective belonging. I like that. But okay, let's pivot to the stuff, the commerce. Because you can't have Chinese New Year without gifts. It's a massive retail event. But if people aren't visiting 50 relatives, gift giving has to be changing too, right?
Profoundly. And again, it's about a shift in values. In the past, it was all dominated by the concept of Jiang Timian.
Jiang Timian. That's about maintaining face, right?
Yes, specifically the display value of the gift. You bought the expensive foreign liquor, not because your uncle loved it, but because it was expensive. It showed you could afford it.
Right. Big shiny box. Look at my success.
Exactly. But now that's being superseded by jiangxinyi, which means demonstrating genuine care. It's about specificity.
And the example the source gives for this is so specific. Pre-prepared gourmet meal kits.
It's a perfect example. Think about it. 10 years ago, if you gave your aunt a meal kit for New Year's Eve dinner, what would that signal?
Laziness. Total laziness. Like you couldn't be bothered to cook. It's like bringing a frozen pizza to Thanksgiving.
A massive loss of face. But today, the meaning has completely flipped. Today, that meal kit says, I value your time. I want you to have a delicious meal without spending 8 hours in the kitchen.
It's a gift of wellness and time.
It's a gift of pair. It's moving from, I want to impress you, to I want to help you. And we see this with health products, too. Nutritional supplements, organic foods, they're premium enough to show respect, but functional enough to show you actually care.
Speaking of products, we have to touch on the limited edition craze. Over half of all food and beverage launches during this period are seasonal exclusives. Why? Is it just FOMO?
It's a little deeper than just fear of missing out. Yang argues that limited editions act as temporal markers.
Temporal markers.
Yes. Think about it. If I give you a box of chocolates that's available year-round, it's a nice gift. But if I give you the Year of the Snake special edition, that's only on shelves for 3 weeks.
Ah, I see. It proves you were thinking about me right now.
Exactly. It shows you didn't just pull a generic gift off a shelf. You went out now to get something for this specific moment. In Chinese culture, the effort of selection matters just as much as the object. The scarcity creates emotional value.
Okay, so we've got people traveling, stomping on balloons, giving meal kits. If you're a brand, this is a lot to take in. The old Happy Family Reunion playbook seems, well, maybe not dead, but insufficient.
Insufficient is the right word. And the report highlights some really interesting strategic shifts. One big one is what Yang calls narrative architecture.
Fancy term, unpack it.
It's about changing slogans to match the new reality. He gives an example of a shift from the taste of home to where the heart belongs.
That's subtle, but huge. Taste of home implies a specific place. Where the heart belongs implies a feeling.
Correct. It validates the person in the hotel in Sanya. It validates the solo celebrant. It tells them you are doing it right.
It legitimizes their choice.
And then there's the logistics. We can't ignore the intangible cultural heritage trend. Since the Spring Festival got UNESCO recognition in 2024, there's this renewed interest in the old traditions.
But wait, didn't we just say people are avoiding the traditional stuff?
They're avoiding the obligation and the labor, but they still want the culture. This is where curated authenticity comes in.
Right. I want to see the dragon dance, but I don't want to be the one organizing the troupe.
Exactly. They want it packaged. Culture as a luxury service, which explains the explosion in what the report calls O2O, online to offline gifting.
Which is?
It's crucial. If you aren't going home, you're ordering a fresh seafood dinner to be delivered hot to your parents' door at 6 p.m. on New Year's Eve via an app.
So you're providing the dinner remotely.
Or you're ordering your gifts to arrive at your hotel in Sanya before you even get there so you don't have to haul them through the airport.
That's smart.
Speaking of which, airports are now massive retail hubs. They aren't just transit points. They're the last-minute shopping malls for this new kind of traveler.
There's one more sector we have to mention because the growth numbers were insane. The beauty economy.
Ah, yes. 150% year-over-year growth in beauty and grooming services right before the new year.
150%. That is a boom.
It's what sociologists call presentational labor. People are outsourcing the work of looking good. It's not just buying a new coat anymore. It's the hair, the nails, the skin treatments.
But if you aren't seeing everyone, who are you doing it for?
Yourself. And let's be honest, for the gram. Even if you're solo, you're documenting the holiday. The digital presence matters as much as the physical one.
So the theme here is outsourcing the friction, outsourcing the cooking, the entertainment, the grooming.
That's a very astute way to put it. By outsourcing the friction, you make space for what actually matters. Connection. Or rest. Or just peace and quiet.
So let's bring this all together. We started with 19 million people who seemed like they were protesting the holiday. But what we found is a group of people who are actually fighting to save it. Just on their own terms.
That's the synthesis. Yang argues that the festival isn't fragmenting, which implies it's falling apart. It is pluralizing. It's becoming many things at once.
Pluralizing. I like that differentiation. It sounds much more optimistic.
It is. The core human desires haven't changed. We still need connection, renewal, marking the passage of time. That isn't going anywhere.
But the permission structure has changed.
Exactly. Society and the brands that reflect it are finally validating that there isn't just one correct way to do this. You can celebrate solo, with friends, on a beach. None of them are better or worse.
It's moving from a holiday of obligation to a holiday of choice.
And that arguably makes it stronger, because if people are participating out of choice, they're actually present. They are curating their happiness, as Yang puts it.
So those 19 million hashtags, they aren't 19 million people opting out. They are 19 million people opting into a version that actually works for them.
Precisely. They are the architects of their own celebration.
Which brings us to the end of our deep dive. We've gone from Sanya resorts to balloon stomping to the semiotics of meal kits. It's been quite a journey.
It has, and it leaves us with a really interesting question to chew on.
What's that?
We talked about elective belonging, the idea that tradition is no longer something you inherit, but something you design. If that is happening to the Spring Festival, the oldest, most entrenched tradition in Chinese culture, what's next?
Ooh, that's a big question.
If we can disaggregate the new year, what other parts of our lives, our careers, our relationships will undergo the same process? What happens to the shared scripts we used to rely on?
That is slightly terrifying,
Yeah.
but also very exciting. Total freedom, but also total responsibility.
It's a lot of work. But looking at the joy on the faces of those balloon-stomping families, it might just be worth it.
Well, on that provocative note, we will let you get back to curating your own day. Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive.
Thank you.
See you next time.